Hello, good evening. I'm really sorry I got late, everyone. We'll get started soon. Okay. I'm really sorry. We'll get started, everyone. Okay, let me share my screen. Hello, good evening, everyone. Once again, welcome to the session. We'll get started, everyone. Okay. So yesterday we spoke about for loop, right? So we have another topic today that we need to talk about, which is called as while loop, isn't it? So we'll talk about while today. So what is the difference between for loop and while loop? So we discussed that for loop is to talk about. Okay, so for loop is when we know. Okay, when we know. Okay, let me write it here. What happened? For loop is used when we know how many times to run the loop. Correct? And while is based on condition. Okay. So yesterday we saw how to use while loop. Sorry, for loop. Okay. Yesterday we saw how to use for loop, right? And we did few examples. Today we'll see how to use while loop. Okay. So the condition is, okay, first I'll show you the syntax, how to use while loop syntax. And yes, okay, everyone, I'll share the link for material. Okay, you have been asking about materials. We did share yesterday. We'll share it today as well. Okay, just give us few minutes. We'll share the material today as well. So while syntax is while, and then we give condition. Okay, and if this condition is true, right? When the condition is true, okay, only then you will go inside while. So we'll execute content inside while. We'll execute the content inside while, okay, till condition is true. Okay. So for example, let's say I put I equal to 0. Okay. Now I say while I is less than 5. Okay. Okay. So see here. Okay. I is 0 first. Correct. And now I'm saying I is less than 5. Okay. So this condition is true or false? Condition is true, isn't it? Because we are talking about I, which is 0, correct? And I is less than 5. 0 is less than 5. Okay. So if I want to print 1 to 5, that was the first example we did yesterday, right? So I want to print 1 to 5. Okay. Now if I print I here, okay, the first number that will be printed is 0, isn't it? So if I have to print 1 to 5, I will change it to 1. I'll change it to 1. So I said I equal to 1. 1 is less than 5. Okay. And now I'm going to say print I. Okay, if your screen is not clear, please change the resolution. Okay, go to settings on the YouTube settings, change the resolution to higher resolution. Okay, you have to change your screen resolution. Yes, thank you, team. Okay, so now I click on print I. Now what happens if I click on print I? See, we have gone into infinite loop, isn't it? Because I said I equal to 1 and while I is less than 5. Okay, so 1 is less than 5. Now I'm printing I. So I is 1, right? So we are printing I here, which is 1. It goes back. Okay, this is the last line here, right? It goes back to the beginning of while. I is less than, I is still less than 5, isn't it? So we're printing I again. It goes back again. I1 is less than 5. So in a way, we have gone into an infinite loop, isn't it? So to change it, okay, we have to, once we are done printing, we have to say I equal to I plus 1. We have to increment the value of I, isn't it? I equal to I plus 1, right? Or we can say I plus equal to 1. Now when I stop it and when I run it, you see, you got 1, 2, 3, 4. So when I is 4, I is less than 4 goes in, prints 4, and it comes out I is now 5. But when you go to the beginning of the loop, 5 is not less than 5, isn't it? 5 is equal to 5. 5 less than 5, condition becomes false, correct? So what we have to do is, we have to say here equal to. Now when you run it, you'll get 1 to 5, isn't it? So this is how we write while loop. Okay, few things to remember here. While is always followed by a condition. So we write while, okay, and after while we have to say a condition here. Okay, condition and then colon. Okay, and when you hit enter, you have to give indentation. Same way, like we have give indentation in if else, okay, or for loop. You have to give indentation, and the content will be inside, with indentation inside while, right? So I equal to 0, I is less than equal to 5. This is the condition. This is true, it will go in. The moment it becomes false, your loop will exit. The loop will stop, right? It will not continue further. Make sense? Okay. Let's take another example. Okay. I want to execute a loop until user wants us to execute. Okay, until user wants us to execute. Okay, so I'm going to define, let's say here, I'm going to say user equal to y. Okay, so till user wants to execute, right? I'll say user equal to y. Okay, and now I will say while user equal to y. So when we have user equal to y, right, condition here will be true, right? Condition will be true and we'll get inside this, isn't it? And now I'm going to, I can print something, I can say, how are you? Then again, I'll ask the user, okay, user equal to input. Do you want to continue? Do you want to continue? Okay. If it is Y, we will continue, else it will stop, right? So now when I run it, how are you? Do you want to continue, right? How are you printed? Do you want to continue? If I press any other key, okay, it will stop. But if I say small y, how are you? Continues, isn't it? Again, I said, yes, continue, 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 right? And now I say, and or whatever, right? Only y will continue, okay? Any other key to stop, right? These are couple of examples, or not examples, I would say the usage pattern. Okay. Now let's use this to write some program, some small program. I want to create a let's say some kind of menu. Okay. I want to create menu. Okay. And menu says we will have 5 different options there. Okay. Inside menu, we'll have 5 different options. One of the options is to quit. Okay. So if it is quit, only then we will quit. Otherwise, we'll continue. Right. Okay. So let's write this. Okay. As I said, I want to create a menu. So okay, let me move this. Okay. We'll write from the first line of code. I'll save it here. Okay, so I'll write a menu. Okay, print, select your option. Okay, now option 1 is perform addition. Okay, print perform subtraction. Okay, option 3, perform multiplication. Print 4, perform division, right? Perform addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Okay, and 5th option is we will say print quit. Okay, you will not quit until user says quit, right? So 5 is when we will quit. Now you see this. This is a situation where we have to continue working, continue using the loop. Okay, and when user says quit, well, then we will stop, right? So what we can create infinite loop. Okay, so we said that the loop will run only when condition is true, isn't it? So this entire thing should run multiple times, correct? This entire thing should run multiple times. So I can put while true. Instead of manually adding any content, okay, instead of manually adding any condition here, okay, directly I'm saying true. Okay, if I say directly true and I put all of these inside, okay, see, it says select your option, perform addition, perform subtraction, perform multiplication, perform division, etc. Right? Now, when I run it, it'll keep on executing this, right? Okay. Now I'm going to write a command to get the choice from the user. So I'm going to say input, enter your choice. Okay, enter your choice, isn't it? So if user says 1, it has to perform 1. If user says 2, perform 2. User says 3, perform multiplication. User says 4, perform division. User says 5, you have to quit, right? So, okay. So after the input, after you have the CH, now we need to calculate, okay? We need to perform the check. Okay, so we'll write if condition, right? So I told you before, right? When we have multiple if conditions to write, you cannot write all the conditions at the same time, right? So we create a placeholder first. So we'll first create a placeholder. Okay, if ch equal to 1, perform this, right? Elif ch equal to 2, we will perform this. Elif ch equal to 3 will perform this. Elif ch equal to perform 4 will perform this. Okay. Elif ch equal to 5 will perform this. Else means the user has given some other value other than 1 to 5. -1, -10, 0, 7, 8. That is what we'll say. We'll say print. Sorry, you have entered an invalid option. Try again. Okay, you have entered an invalid option. Try again. Okay, so this is when user has entered some other value other than 1 to 5. Is it clear so far, everyone? Right? We have created the structure. Now we will put our actual code in this if. Okay. So first thing first, this is an infinite loop. Okay. I said while true. Now how do we end it? How do we end infinite loop? Okay. See, another 2 examples that we did before. If you can go to the other 2 sheet. See here, we are looking for I. The moment I become 6, this loop stops. The moment I become 6, loop stops. Here, the moment user becomes something else other than Y, loop stops, right? So here I'm checking for user value, and user value is not Y, our while loop will stop. Here I'm checking for I value, and I value is more than 5, it will stop, right? But here, how do we stop? Okay, when user enters 5, okay, so we have something called as break. Break is a command will throw us out of the loop. Okay, break, okay, is a command. This will stop the loop. This will throw us out of the loop. This will throw us out of the loop. Okay, break, remember, break is a command. Okay, so maybe before break we can say print we are exiting, thank you. Now when you run it, so select your option. Okay, I enter -9. What happens? Sorry, you have entered an invalid option. Try again. Okay, 8. Invalid option. Try again. 0. Invalid option. Try again. And when I say 5, it quits, right? So break will throw us out of the loop. See, here we have only one loop. Okay, but we discussed yesterday that, right, we can have loop inside a loop. So, and break will throw you out of for loop also, whether for loop, while loop, doesn't matter. Okay, it will throw us out of both for loop and while loop. Now let's say we have while loop, and inside this we have for loop, and now I'm giving break here. So I have while loop in main, then I have for loop inside while loop, and then I have break I've written inside for loop. What happens? This break will throw us out of this loop, a current loop. If you are inside loop, inside loop, the last loop where you are in, okay, that's where it will throw us out. It will throw us out of the for loop, but while loop will continue. Okay. Now let's say, I have for loop here. I have something print, and now I have break. Now see here. In this case, break is in while loop, not in for loop, isn't it? Break is in while loop, main loop. Inside, it's not inside for loop. In this case, break will throw us out of the while loop. Correct? So since it is throwing us out of the while loop, all the loop, entire thing will stop working. Entire thing will stop working. With me, everyone? Okay, so that's how we use break to break from the loop. Okay, so I've created an infinite loop. Okay, while true, so there's no condition here. Condition itself, I made it true. So only way to break such loop is to use break. Whenever you want to break, you put break. That's it. Okay. Now I don't have to do 1 to 4, right? You guys are clever enough now. We have done enough program. You can do 1 to 4. I will do 1. Okay, how to do CH1. Rest 2, 3, 4. You do it. That is your assignment. Okay. So to perform addition, you can say N1 equal to int of input, enter a number, enter N2, enter second number, right? And then sum equal to N1 plus N2, and you say print total or addition is sum, right? So this is how we have done for addition. And same logic, I want you to replace pass. Okay, in your after the class, you change the pass, okay, to subtraction, multiplication, and division, just like the way we did here. Okay, so we can see here when I run it, I enter invalid option purposely. So you said, sorry, you have entered invalid option, try again. Now when I say 1, enter a number 78, 22, okay, you get 100. Addition is 100, isn't it? And then select your option. So I'm going to say option 5, quit. Okay, so we have just created an infinite loop or menu option. Okay, when you have menu option, something like this, which will keep on repeating, that's a perfect case for using while for, while true, right? Infinite loop. It's called infinite loop. So again, if you have done programming in C++ or Java, you will know that in C++ and Java, we have 3 types of loops. Okay, there are 3 types of loop in C++ Java. For loop, okay, same as for loop in Python. Then you have while loop, okay, while loop in C++, okay, same as okay. So if you write a number before a condition, then we cannot read the number again and again. So that's why we have to do it after the condition, so that you can read again and again. Okay. Okay. So while is same as while in Python. Okay. Now see, we do not have, okay, the third type of loop, which is do while. We have do while in Java and C++. Do while is an example of what we call as exit control loop. This is an example of exit control loop. Do will not have any condition. You will go inside the loop. But exit, when to exit is checked. So in Python, we do not have do while loop. Okay, we do not have do while loop. Instead, we use while true. Okay, what we just did is entry control, exit control, entry free. Okay, while true, whatever be the condition, we are getting inside. So we are getting inside without any effort, without any hard work. But to come out, you have to do the hard work. That means to come out when condition is true only, you will quit, isn't it? If condition is not true, you will keep on doing, keep on doing. So this is, implementation of while adds do while. While true, okay, easy to enter, but difficult to come out. Everybody with me? Okay. Okay, so let's do one more example. I want to see, okay, if yesterday we did, right, prime number, right? Yesterday we did prime number, no, we didn't do, right? Let's do prime number example today. So we'll write a program to see if the entered number is prime or not, okay? So I'm going to cut it and save it here. And I'll share the same link, okay, after class is done. So that's why I'll save it here. Okay, okay. So check a number is prime or not. Okay. Check if a number is prime or not. Okay. So let's say number equal to 31. I want to check if number 31 is prime or not. Okay. So how will I do? I will, so see, the number is, okay, so how to check? Okay, if a number is divisible by 1 and itself only, right? No other number should be able to divide that number. No other number should be able to divide. Then we say it is divisible. No other number should be able to divide this, right? So I will create a loop in this case. I'll create a for loop. Okay, because we know which one number to check. 1, it will be divisible. So I have to check from 2 till that number, right? So 2 till 30. I have to check from 2 till 30 that number is not divisible by anybody else. Okay, so I'll say for I in range 2, number. That means I'm checking from 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, so on, up to 30, right? Up to 31. That means including 30, no 31. So when I put 2 number in range, it means the starting number is the first number and ending is the second number. There is no increment, right? So if you have range with 3 values, that means first number is starting number, second is your ending number, third is your increment. But if I use only 2 numbers, if I use 2, num, that means 2 is the starting number and the second number is the ending number. We do not give increment. That means by default increment is 1. Default increment is 1, right? Default increment is 1. So now when I run it here, okay, for I in range 2, num, I will check if num modulo I equal to 0. That means the number is divisible by something between 2 and the number. It is not a prime number, isn't it? It's not a prime number. And when it is not a prime number, we don't have to check any further. If the number, let's say we take 30, for example, let's say we take 30 first. Now, if 30 modulo 2 will be 0, isn't it? 30 is divisible by 2. So the moment you know 30 is divisible by 2, right? You don't have to check any further, isn't it? We can stop here. We don't have to go. We don't have to check for 3, 4, 5 because it is, it is not a prime number. So there is no point. You can check, not a problem, but there is no need to check. Once you know that it's not a prime, that's the end, right? Why to go and check further? No need to check further, right? Okay. So how do we handle this? So this is perfect, but how do we know the number is prime or not? So I'm going to create what is called as a variable called is prime equal to true. It's called flag variable, okay? It will just have true or false, yes or no kind of thing. So I'm creating is prime, okay? In is prime equal to true, okay? That means is prime, we're assuming that it is true. Is prime, we're assuming that it is true. Once this is true, okay? Once this is true, okay, then we can say it is prime, okay? But when it is not prime, it is not prime in if here, inside if it is not prime, because we know it is divisible by 2, right? We know it is divisible by 2. So I'm going to say is prime equal to false, right? Before we break, right? Before we break that loop, we'll say is prime equal to false. Now, when you come out of the loop, I'm going to do if condition. If is prime, okay? That means if is prime is true, we say print, okay? I can say num is a prime number, correct? Else print, okay, num is not a prime number. Yes, everyone with me? So when I run this, 30 is not a prime. Okay, so what happens? When we say num equal to 30, okay, line number 1, this is the first line to be executed. Then we come here. Is prime equal to true? Yes, is prime is true. Set here. Now I'm running a loop. And I value is going from 2 to num, like 2 to 30. So first iteration only, you have I equal to 2. So now I'm saying num modulo 2. Okay, so 30 modulo 2. 30 modulo 2 is 0, isn't it? Because 30 is divisible by 2. Remainder is 0. If it is 0, then is prime equal to false. Then we know that it is not a prime. If modulo equal to 0, we know that it's not a prime. So we say is prime equal to false and you break. We no need to check any further. We come out and we say is prime if it is true, prime number. In this case, of course, it is false, right? It will go to else. It is not a prime number. But what happens if I enter 31? If I enter 31, what happens? Okay, it's a prime number, right? So is a prime true? Here you go 31 mod 2. 31 divided by 2. You get remainder as 1, not 0. So this condition is false. It will not go in. Then the I value is not 3. Again 31 mod 3. Okay, remainder is 1. It goes again 4. 31 mod 4. Again not 0. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, 28, 29, 30. Even 31 mod 30, remainder is not 0. Okay, it will, so loop has finished working. Loop has checked with all the possible values. Now you come out. When you come out, is prime is true, isn't it? So you say num is a prime. Okay, so you get num is a prime. Okay, so this is how this loop runs. Now, if you see here, okay, we don't have to go to num also. See, when you say 31, if you check by 15 or 16, it is enough. We don't have to check beyond 16. Okay, so if it is not divisible by 16, it will never be divisible by 17, 18, right? Because minimum division is 2, right? So if you do by 2, okay, it is enough. So, in this case, we don't even have to say num. If you say num by 2 and plus 1, let's say we are adding 1 extra to it. That's it. Num by 2 plus 1. Okay, now when you run it, it is good enough. Okay, we don't have to check up to that number. Even if you check up to half, it is good enough. Okay, so this is how we check for if the number is prime or not. Okay, now let's use same logic. We will use same logic to generate series of numbers. We'll generate series of prime numbers. So between, let's say we enter some number 100 to 200. Between 100 and 200, generate prime numbers. Okay, so what we can do? So we'll put a loop. Okay, how to write hollow right angle triangle. Okay, we'll talk about it, Krishna. Okay, we'll talk about how to write a hollow rectangle triangle. We'll do that. Okay, after this example, prime example, we'll do the hollow rectangle triangle. Yes. Okay, so see here we are generating num and we are checking whether it's prime or not, isn't it? Now this entire thing we'll put it in a loop. I want to generate prime numbers. Okay, so I'm going to say between say start equal to 100 and end equal to 500. Between 100 and 500, I want to generate all the prime numbers. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll say while, okay, while start is less than equal to end. While start is less than equal to end, in fact, I can, and then I will change the start value. Okay, so I'll say start is less than end. Okay, and this whole thing we will put it inside while. Okay, now what will happen to the num value? Num value is going to be your start, isn't it? So first we are checking with start and num equal to start. Once we are done, before loop is run second time, the while loop is running second time, I'm saying start plus equal to 1. Okay, so we are taking first start and we are checking it is prime or not. Okay, and after it is checked, in the next iteration, we will increment the value. Now, increment the start value to next. If you start with 100, first num equal to 100, you will check 100 is prime or not. After 100 is done, next we have to check for 101, next 102, 103, so on until 500, or whatever is the end value, right? Okay, so this is how we create the outer loop. Now inside, when a number is prime, in this case we don't have to check for else, right? If number is prime, then you print the number, right? That's what we are supposed to do, right? We will print the number. That's it. If number is not prime, don't print it. If number is prime, print it. So same logic, okay? To check if number is prime or not, I've used same program to check, to generate prime numbers. So see, this is how we need to build a program. Okay, you might be told to do some complex example, complex problem. So don't think about complex problems. When you go for a buffet lunch, right, you will have 50 items. Okay, if you think that, oh my God, how can I eat 50 items? Okay, in marriage or any party you go and you see so many items in the party. Okay, you start thinking, how should I eat all the 50? No, what do? You take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You take one by one. If you take one by one, you can easily eat all the 50 variety. But if you start taking all the 50 at the same time, you can't eat. Isn't it? Same thing. Remember, when you're building a problem, when you're writing a problem, start from very basic condition. Have to start with one line. Then add one more line, one more line, one more line. Slowly, you will be able to build your program. Make sense? Clear, everyone? Okay. So this is how. Okay, but we have not run it, right? Let's run it. Let's know if it's correct or not. So see, we have generated the values. Okay. So what we'll do is after this, we will generate in same line. So I'm going to say end equal to, right? So I don't have to give this extra comma, right? I can give this comma in the end itself. Okay, end equal to, I don't want, the new line. So I'll say end equal to. So now you see 101, 103, 107. These are all your prime numbers. 499. These are all your prime numbers between 100 and 500. So I have modified the program. First, I wrote a program to check if a number is prime or not. Then modify the same program to generate a series of prime numbers. And once you are done, when your program is done, you can say print, right? So that the counter goes to the next line. I hope everybody is able to understand. Okay, slowly we are increasing our complexity. Okay, it's been almost 1 week, guys, right? Today is Friday, 5th day of our learning. Okay, so we have to increase our complexity. Yes or no? Okay, so slowly we are doing it. I'm sure, see, if you miss any class, please go back, see the video, practice before the class. Okay, based on my experience, I have about 19 years of, in software industry. I can tell you, mathematics and programming are very similar. Okay, whenever you are trying to solve a mathematics problem, right, when you see the problem, you might feel it's difficult. But when you look at the solution step, right, you'll feel easy. Yes, 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 yes. So mathematics and computer science programs are not for studying. They are for practicing. Okay, if you read the program, when you see the mathematics problem, step, solution, you'll feel it is very easy. But when you start programming, when you start coding, when you start solving the maths problem, then only you will get stuck. So the easy way to learn and practice is to practice more and more problems. And when you get error, don't get scared. Okay, even now also I get errors when I do my programming. Okay, errors will come. You have to see why the error has come. Look at the error message. Look at the error message. And based on the error message, you go and fix. Okay, you should be able to fix the problem by looking at the error message. At least you know why the error has come. And we'll talk about different types of error. You can have logical error, you can have syntax error, right? We can have runtime error. So why the error has come, you have to go back and fix that particular line of code. And when you try, you will definitely succeed. Okay, that is the only way to learn programming, same as you're learning mathematics. Okay, it is very easy. It is not difficult. Okay, you don't need. So see, mathematics, at least to solve integration differentiation, you should have some basic knowledge. You cannot start solving integration differentiation, but in programming, you can solve from day one. You don't need any history. You don't need prerequisite. There's no prerequisite to learn programming. Okay, people from non-CS background, non-computer science background are doing much well in programming because it needs only your logical thinking. It does not need to do the Python programming. You don't need to do C++. You need not be even a graduate. I have taught programming even for class 5. Okay, Python program even class 5 students have done it and they have developed projects. Okay, so it is not difficult. You just have to think logically and you will get it. Okay. So yes, we have been able to generate prime numbers. Let's see between 5,000 and 10,000. Do we have any prime numbers between 5,000 and 10,000? So I'll change it to 5,000 and here I'll say 10,000. Let's see if we have. Yes, see, so many numbers we have. All these numbers are prime numbers. They are not divisible by any other number. 9949. No other number can divide this. Okay. So yes, we have so many prime numbers. Okay. So I'll move this to again our notes. And after the session, give me 1 hour or so. I'll upload all these in the same link. Okay. Oops. Here, right? Okay. Next program. So Sai Krishna wants us to do hollow triangle. Let's see how we can do hollow triangle. Let me take some water. Okay, so let's start the program. Hollow triangle means first you have 1 star, then you have 2 star, then again, right? So let's say we can put some space. Okay. Then okay, so this is example hollow star, right? So you have line number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? And you see that line number 1, okay, 1 star, then 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, and last we have number of stars. Okay, so guys, you have to first think the logic. What is the logic of building this? What is the logic of building this? Okay, on what logic it is built? So one logic which I can think of is, and you can think of any other logic. The logic that comes to my mind is row number 1 and row number last. First row and last row. Okay, first row and last row, okay, has same number of stars. That means first row has 1 row. First row, row number 1, star equal to 1. Row number 7, 7 stars. So except row number 1 row number 1 and row number last, we have same number of stars. Correct? Okay, and rest of the other rows has 2 stars. Okay, first and last has same number of stars, row number and number of stars are same. Everything else have 2 stars. Okay, and then everything else also has space in between. So this is the logic. With this logic, let's start building this. So first you have to ask the user n equal to what? So let's say I put n equal to 8. That means I want 7 or 8 rather. Okay, 8 means I want 8 number of rows. I can start from for I in range 8. Correct? I in range 8. Now, if I equal to 0 or I equal to okay, I'll put n here, or last row I equal to 0 or I equal to n minus 1. In this case, we want same number of star, isn't it? So how many stars will we print? We will print the number of n stars. Okay, number of n. So see, that is this outer loop is to keep track of the rows. Inner loop is to keep track of the stars that we need to print. So I'm going to say for j in range I plus 1. Whatever is I value, I have to go one level more, correct? And I need to print the star. Okay, so for j in j in range I plus 1, I'm going to say print star. Okay, and at the end we will say space. Okay, once we are done, right? Okay, before you go to the next number, we have to say print. Okay, we have to drop the line, right? Now let's run this and see what we get. Perfect. You see this? Where it is first and last row, we got the correct number of stars. So we have handled first and last. What about others? Yes, that's what we'll do now. So this print is fine. Okay, now you see. Else. Else means what? Else means it is not first row and not last row. In this case, it is tricky. What is tricky here? Tricky is that you need to, okay, tricky is you need to put star, okay, and also the space. So before I get into printing space, I will print star. Okay, I will print star like this. Right? After star, you need to print space, right? And here also I will print star. Okay. So see, for first and last we have handled. Else means if it is not first or last, then we need to print star here. Okay, let me take a print screen of this and show you what I'm trying to do. I'm going to open a paint and I'm going to show you. So for, okay. Okay, so see, first and last case we have handled. Now for in between, what we are doing is we are printing a star here. We'll print first, by default, first will be a star, isn't it? We are printing star. Now we'll run a for loop to print space. And then after for loop is done, we'll print a star. So we'll print a star. We'll run for loop to print space and we will print star. We will print star, then run for loop and print star. Again print star, run for loop, print star, run for loop and print star, right? This is the logic we are going to do, okay? So now you understood. So let's go back to the program. Okay, so I have printed the first star and I have printed the last star. In between, I have to use for loop to print for k in range some number. Okay, we'll talk about it. And here we are printing space, isn't it? Okay, now how many spaces to print? When you are in row 1, you don't, in row 1, there's no need to print. When you're in row 2, okay, you need to print 1 space. When you're row in 3, you have to print 2 space. So here I can say I. Okay. Now, again, I told you, right, when you are building your problem, when programming, you should start from simple thing. So first and last row was simple for me. So I created first and last row. Now, based on my understanding, I have created the inner thing. I will run it. It may not work. Let's see. If it works, great. If it doesn't work, we have to go back and check why it did not work. Okay, so see here. In the last, again, we have to give 1 star and then our triangle pattern will be complete. Or you can give 1 less space and triangle pattern will be complete. Okay, so okay, if I come here, okay, and if I don't give this space, end equal to blank. Okay, after printing 1 star, I'm not giving space. Earlier I was giving space, right? Now after printing 1 star, I'm not giving space. Run it. Okay, correct? We got a hollow star, yes or no? This is how we can generate hollow star. Yes. Okay. Sai Krishna, are you happy with the star? Hollow star? Yes or no? Okay. So remember my word. First, you have to begin step by step. Perform 1 step. Then the second. Then the third. Slowly, you have to build your program. Okay. Don't try to eat buffet at the same time. Take 1 item. 1 item. Slowly, you build it. And then you will say, yes, I have done my work. You will get your answer. Okay, great. Tomorrow again we'll take 1 example. Okay, tomorrow when we meet, tomorrow again we'll meet. Okay, we are doing Monday to Saturday. Okay, so tomorrow we'll meet. We'll take 1 example tomorrow and we'll end it. Okay, so hopefully by tomorrow we'll finish our loops. And then maybe if time permits, we'll start string tomorrow or we'll start string from Monday. Okay, let's do 1 more program, 1 more simple program, and then we will end. So I'm going to move this to our database here. Okay, you want me to repeat else condition? I can repeat else condition. Okay, so see what I'm doing here. Okay, so when you look at a problem, okay, try to break your problem into multiple steps. So when I saw this problem first time, I broke this into 2 parts. Okay, so for me, logically, if you see, if it is row number 1 and row number n, number of stars is 1 or n. Okay, so this is an if, which is clear enough. Now for else, okay, we have to print star, then some number of space and star, star, some number of space and star, star, some number of space and star. So that's what I did. Star, some number of space and star. Okay, for each row, first we are printing star. That's why it's a single print. Okay, it's not inside loop. It is outside loop. So, they're printing 1 single star, then some number of space. I will come back to some number of space in some time. Okay, so some number of space means I have to use for loop. So for k in range, whatever you put. Okay, first let's not worry about any other thing. Okay, let's not worry about what number to put. But we know that we have to use multiple spaces. When you have to use multiple spaces, we have to use for loop. So star for loop 4 spaces star for loop 4 spaces star for loop 4 spaces star. That's what we are doing. Okay, so we did it. Now, how many stars to put? How many stars to put? So if you are in range 1, so this is your range 0, isn't it? This is your range 1. This is your range 2, so on. So if you are in range 0, anyway, you will not come to else. You will take care of if. Okay? Okay? Yes, you can do inverted also. I don't know what Charan is trying to ask. What is your question, Charan? Okay, so I'm putting some spaces in first space, and then one space is done, single star. So that's what else is doing. Star, repeat the spaces, star. Star, repeat the spaces, star. Star, repeat the spaces, star. Okay, so this is what we are doing here. Okay, so we are able to get this done. You can first, I told you, Charan, think of the pattern. And once you understand the pattern, break the logic, and then you will be able to generate any kind of, okay, any kind of program. First, you have to know the logic, break the logic. Okay, Charan? Break the logic and build this pattern. Then build it. Okay. Okay. So we'll do last one program before we end. We want to print the Fibonacci series number. So Fibonacci series number, the first number is 1, second number is 1, third number is sum of previous two number. So first number in Fibonacci is 1, second number in Fibonacci is 1, and then the third number is sum of previous two number. So 1 plus 1, 2. 2 plus 1, 3. 3 plus 2, 5. 5 plus 3, 8. Okay. 8 plus 5, 13. So on. This is called Fibonacci series. Okay. The next number is sum of previous two number. So we need to store previous two number values, and when we know, only then we can move ahead. Okay. So let's say I'm going to ask user. Okay. Terms. How many terms? I'll say int of input. How many terms you want? Okay. So now here, if n terms equal to 1, if n terms equal to 1, equal to double equal to, isn't it? Equal to 1, we can say print, okay, 1, right? Print 1. So what I'm going to do is for for 1 and 2, I'm going to do manually. Okay, so then elif n terms equal to 2, I'm going to say print 1, comma 1, right? So if you want 1 and 2 terms, manually you print 1 and 1. Okay. What? Okay. Now if Okay, if n terms is more than 2. If n terms is greater than 2, this is the logic we are going to build. Else, okay, we'll say invalid input. Okay, so somebody's trying to enter 0 or minus, we'll say invalid input, right? So we build the structure. Now we are going to build it inside this. We are going to build it inside this n terms. Okay, when n terms is more than that, we need to build. Okay, what do we need to build? We need to perform loop. Loop I in range. Range what? From 0 till n terms. Okay, for 0 to n terms. Now when I is 0, okay, it is equivalent of doing one term, isn't it? Okay, it is equivalent of doing one. Now we have to repeat these two parts, isn't it? To repeat these two parts. So, okay, I'm going to put this one. Okay, I'm not going to use n equal to 2. For one, this is fine. But for 2, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do something like this. Okay, so n term is more than 1. So first value has to be 1. Okay, and second, okay, now the first value is done. So I'm going to remove this one. I'll make it 1. Okay, now here you see previous value, previous one equal to 0, and I can put it in the same line. Previous to 0, 1. Okay, for I in range, I will say print. Okay, I will use current, say current number. Current number is previous 2 number, right? Previous 1 plus previous 2. Done. So now you'll print current. Current, and I'm going to say and equal to, sorry, and equal to comma. Okay, so yes, we have got the next value, but now we have to change the previous value, right? So previous 2, okay, previous 2 is previous 2 and previous, okay, previous 1, right? So let's write previous 1, previous 2 only. Now previous 1 will take the value of previous 2, correct? So which was 0 will now become 1. What is now 1 will become the current. That's it. Okay. Now let's run it and see. So how many terms you want? Let's say at first I give 0, invalid input. Now I want to check for 1. You get 1. Now I'll check for 2. I'm going to say 2. You see 1, 1. Now I'll do for 3. You see 1, 1, 2. Now I'll do for say 10 maybe. So see here 1 and 1 first number, then third number is 1 plus 1 2, 2 plus 1 3, 3 plus 2 5, 5 plus 3 8, 8 plus 5 13, 13 plus 8 21, 21 plus 13 34, 34 plus 21 55. Are these 10 numbers? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. Yes. Okay, so our Fibonacci program is done. Okay, So now tell me, any question from today's class? We have come to end of today's session. Okay, any question? Otherwise, we'll end it here. Okay. So thank you so much, everyone. Okay, you want me to explain again? Okay. So see, first, there is no logic for first two terms. When you're generating Fibonacci numbers, there is no logic for first two number. First is 1, second is 1. There is no logic here. But the logic starts from third number. Or you can say, okay, logic starts from second number. Okay, if you assume first number as 0 and second number as 1, your second number then will have 0. 0 plus 1, 1, isn't it? So what I'm doing is, okay, else you know, right? Else if it is not 1 or more than 1, it goes to else. If you say I want only one Fibonacci number, first Fibonacci number, then manually we are adding 1. The whole logic comes here when we want more than 1. When we say 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, okay, then the logic starts. Now logic is the next number is sum of previous two number, isn't it? So what I did, I have two variables, previous one and previous two. I have two variables, previous one and previous two, and I have added 0 and 1. Okay, 0 and 1. So what is the next value? Next value or current value will be previous to 0 plus 1. See, for 1 we have already handled. So when you talk about second number, it is sum of previous number 0 plus 1. So once you get 0 plus 1, we are printing current. After printing current value, I am changing the previous value. Previous value was 0 and 1. Now it is going to be 1 and 1. Okay. Now it is going to be 1 and 1, isn't it? So guys, people are from different branches, so don't worry about the branches. You focus on your learning. Okay. So here I have set 0 and 1. Next number is sum of previous two number. So 0 plus 1, which is 1. Now what I'm doing, the previous one was here and previous 2 was here. So now I'm changing this to this and changing this to this. Okay. Now, if you say 0 plus 1, 1 here, next number is what? We have changed, right? This is no longer previous. This is pointing to this and this is pointing to this. Now the next number is this plus this, 1 plus 1. Okay, 1 plus 1 is 2. So now once you get these two, now the previous 2, okay, is pointing to this current number and this is pointing to this number. Next number is sum of previous number, right? Previous 1 plus previous 2. Previous 1 plus previous 2 is 1 plus 2, 3. Now this one will go to this location and this will go to this location. Yeah, my mistake. Okay, let me explain again. Sorry, I had not shared this paint. Okay, let me explain again. So what we are saying is, okay, in the example we put previous 1 equal to 0 and previous 2 equal to 1, right? Now we are saying current number is, okay, so previous 1 is pointing to here and previous 2 is pointing here. Now what I'm saying is current number is previous 1 plus previous 2. Previous 1 plus previous 2 is 0 plus 1, 1. So this is your current number, right? Current number is 1. After printing this, what I'm saying this number, this previous 2 should point to this location and this previous one should point to this location. Next number is sum of previous two number, previous 1 plus previous 2. Previous 1 plus previous 2 is 1 plus 1, 2. So now your current is looking here. So previous 2 will point to this and the previous one is pointing to this. So every number, every variable is moving one step ahead. So next number is previous 1 plus previous 2, 3. Previous 2 is now pointing to 3 and previous 1 is now pointing to 2. Okay, so this is what we are doing. Now going back to our program. Okay, so I'm setting previous 1, previous 2 to 0, 1, right? And now I'm calculating current. Current is what? Previous plus previous 1 plus previous 2. After current is done, after you print the current, I'm changing previous 1 to previous 2 and previous 2 to current. Then print current. Current is previous 1 plus previous 2. Print previous 1 plus previous 2. Next, change previous 1 to previous 2 to current. Keep on doing same till the loop is there. Is it clear now? Okay, so slowly you keep building the complexity. Slowly keep building the complexity. Okay, thank you so much, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow at 5 o'clock. Okay. Take care, everyone. Please do practice. Okay, I'm telling you, you cannot do, you cannot learn Python without practice. And don't miss the sessions. Okay, sessions are recorded and put on YouTube. Please visit the session, see. Okay, please practice before you come to the next class, because every class is built on previous class. So if you miss previous class, please watch, then you come for next class. We are doing only 1 hour session, right? So not too much to practice. Okay, yes, thank you so much, everyone. Take care. Bye. Good night. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.